push you away, cause I'm lost in the daydream. Get my feet back on the ground. Remember when I met you in that little town, a little movie theater and some loving going around. You never said much, but it ain't at you. And now you got a lot to say, but it's all been used. And not even love will keep us together, and not even love will tear us apart, and not even love will bring you down, but it's love that broke my heart. Anymore, so fly that flag in the dark of your heart, cause I know mine's got a scar. Remember when I met you in that little town, a little movie theater and some loving going round. You never said much, but it ain't at you. And now you got a lot to say, but it's all been used. And not even love will keep us together, and not even love will tear us apart, and not even love will bring you down, but it's love that broke my heart. You're holding on too tightly, just let me go. And there's a part of you inside me that just won't go home. So sitting by my lonesome, thinking about someone I used to know.
Well, welcome back to Live on Patrol. We are in the beautiful city of Shoreview, Minnesota. Mayor Sandy Martin does a great job up here, and makes me reminded that just a great council member, Terry Quigley, passed away, and really appreciated his enthusiasm for this town, and they started the process of replacing him. I read it in the paper today. There's the Shoreview sign over there. We just passed it. You didn't get a chance to see it, but in my first stint as sheriff, there was a different sign there. It was the same town name, but it was manufactured differently. And young kids, I don't know whether they were from Moundsview or White Bear, Irondale, Cretin, I can't say, but every year someone used to steal the S on the Shoreview the city sign.
It's not nice.
No. So I could have been people from Vadnais Heights or North Oaks, or yeah, but anyhow, they put a new sign up there with the letters they're not attached letters, they are built into the sign. So with me tonight's Pat Scott, as always. A little surprise Wednesday night, but I apologize, but Mrs. Fletcher decided that Friday was going to be Bob's birthday night. So that's okay with everybody. You just can't fit everything in. I mean, it's tough to fit a birthday, Super Bowl, and Valentine's Day in on a 3 or 4 day weekend.
I'm telling you.
Right? So, and also my one of my grandchildren is born on this weekend. One of my niece is born on this weekend. It's just a busy weekend.
No kidding.
So we are southbound on Lexington, coming up on County Road F. But we hope that you'll join us right after the Super Bowl on Sunday. And one of our highest viewerships ever was right after the conference championships. I don't know if that's because a lot of alcohol was consumed, or people were, happy or unhappy, but so Pat, how was your day today?
I spent a lot of today in bed.
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
That's just I don't know whether that's good or bad. I don't know whether you're alone.
Yes, all alone.
Okay.
But it was much needed.
Need a little rest. Live
Yeah.
on patrol. When I called Pat and said, "Hey, we're gonna have to do it tonight," he said, "Okay, I'm gonna start my nap now."
It turned into quite the nap.
Quite the nap.
But yeah, earlier tonight it was extremely busy on the radio.
A little slower now, but we had to have some shots fired, no doubt about that. I'm going to talk about the shots fired a little later, because I was up at the Capitol testifying. A couple legislators up there want to finance ShotSpotter.
Nice.
Yeah. And they just said if the city's not willing to do it, the legislature's in the city. They all spend time here, and a lot of them have friends here. And they said if the city's not willing to do it, let's just finance it and have the sheriff's office constructed. How can you argue with that, right?
Yeah, really.
I appreciate their leadership, and I thought that was.
Yeah, anybody opposing that plan, you'd have to be suspect of their motivations.
Yeah, if the state is willing to give you money to implement it, right?
Yep.
Talk about that a little later. I do want to say, and I know Pat, we kind of want to mention this right on the front end. We didn't know the final determination of the final determination of the woman who was trapped under her car. Leila Wright, I think is her name, correct?
Yes.
And but of course we know now she passed away, and it's a tragic, horrific thing to have someone get run over by your own car, and of course to have her husband there. It's just it's the more you think about it, the more it's just troubling. But
It's heartbreaking.
I did post a GoFundMe on the Live on Patrol page. I know a lot of you had posted it earlier on the Backseater page, and there's some 8,000 of you there, and a lot of you contributed, and money can never offset the loss, but it can reduce some of the family, financial stress as you go forward. And but there's some 50,000 followers of Live on Patrol, and so if you're inclined to help them in any way that you can, that would be very much appreciated. It's right on our page, and the GoFundMe page is there. All help is appreciated, any size or amount. And let me just say this: you guys, you backseaters know me well enough. Let's not have silly arguments about the GoFundMe app. That's the app the family chose to use. That's the app that you should use, and don't worry about whether 1 or 2% are going to GoFundMe. We're here to help the family, not have a GoFundMe debate. So it's not those kinds of arguments aren't really consistent with what Live on Patrol is all about.
That's right.
Pat, you said you went down there the next day.
I did. I went down on Sunday afternoon, and I just sat there quietly and for a few minutes of silence, and just had the family and Leila in my prayers. It was just that was a tough one.
We did take the video down. I mean, I think we were struggling with whether the family would want it up or not, to be honest. And of course, a couple of friends and family members contacted us and asked us to take it down, so of course we did. Those are the types of. We thought it was far enough away that no one was distinguishable, but as the news broke in the regular news, the privacy, of that moment became more important.
There's a
So.
lock person outside of the door.
And that's the first time something quite like that has happened on Live on Patrol.
Go for it, 2221.
So we were at the Roseville complex, Roseville Community Center complex, and just so you're clear, we're up here at County Road C and Lexington, and right here is their city hall and their police department. You can see a Roseville car up ahead there. Just to give you a little proximity, Roseville's a great little town. And
My brother-in-law's the building inspector here.
awesome. And their city hall, they do a really nice job up here. And of course, Rosedale Mall is in the city of Roseville. And actually, Roseville's had a little uptick in some of our crime. Of course, that shooting suspect was arrested in Roseville a week or two ago. The one that had done all the robberies in St.
Right.
Anthony. But this is one of my favorite community attractions here, this John Rose Oval. And it looks like they just closed up. They're out there resurfacing the ice, but it's a frozen sheet. I mean, it's a refrigerated sheet. But if you've never been here, you know, you can see they got an oval out there for speed skating.
And there's somebody speed skating right now.
But then they have, in the middle, they have 4 hockey rinks. I'm sure they just closed up. Oh, it looks like a few people are out there. Maybe it looks like maybe old guy time, you know. But usually in the evenings, there's hundreds of people out there. Here we go.
Hotel 874 on a Ford Explorer 2020 white color. ATL vehicle taking a carjacking. Suspect held a gun to the victim, made him get out. And since the gun was a short barrel, could have been a pink ball gun, possibly. Suspects are 2 white males wearing masks and construction vests. For Bloomington at 2223.
Can I write on here?
Sure. You can write anywhere in here, Pat.
I got the pen.
Just gonna make sure. Call Emmerich. Make sure someone's working at Emmerich tonight.
Who would you like to call?
Emmerich.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call Fran Emmerich home.
No.
Who would you like to call?
Emmerich.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call Fran Emmerich.
We're not going to call Fran Emmerich. So anyhow, Emmerich stands for East Metro Real-Time Information Center. And while I was gone for a few years, the sheriff that replaced me changed it to Ramsey Tactical Information Center. It really doesn't matter what the name is, but I still call it Emmerich because I just thought Emmerich had a better kind of flow to it than Arctic. Arctic sounds like you're up in the Arctic. It's possible there's no one working tonight. Heather, you're up there. Hey, can you, Pat and I are going to be working tonight. Can you be sure to ship us that Bloomington carjacking stuff on our phones?
Yes, will do.
All right.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Yep, bye.
Well, 2020 Explorer, so it's the current vintage.
Okay.
This plate does not, that I'm seeing on here, does not sound like what they put out.
All right. Well.
But I'm going to put it down for now. I could be wrong. Sounds like it's it's a California plate.
What kind of car is it?
A white Ford Explorer.
Ford Explorer. Well,
2020.
I ought to be able to recognize a Ford Explorer, right?
I would think so.
Carjacking in Bloomington. Well, you know, this is interesting because since we arrested that Wortman kid, the carjackings have been way down. And even the auto thefts have dropped off because I think the auto thieves realize we're out there for real to catch them.
I'm going to mute this for a second. There's some information in here.
Okay. Are they who's
Oh yeah, they. What, Brady?
all right. Action Alex is out with us tonight.
6 Wilson with adult female.
Actually, when I get him on the air, if you can just mute that for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, they
Hey, good. So we're over on Snelling Avenue now.
Copy. Suspect to be a short black male wearing a yellow jacket and flag.
So I had this idea today. Oh, by the way, I was up at the Capitol testifying on a couple bills today and yesterday.
Okay.
Because, you know, we got a lot of things that could help law enforcement.
4469.
But, as I mentioned, some of the legislators offered to draft a bill for some money, for $2 million for shot spotting.
Okay.
Which, of course, would be awesome, right? Friggin' awesome.
Sure.
So I went through all the reasons in terms of the casings and getting the victims. Actually, we've had a couple victims now that we couldn't find because we didn't know where the shots came from. It does happen too frequently. And we even had another one where we think it might have been attempted suicide that we didn't find until the morning, even though there was shots fired call in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's many, many reasons to finding the casings, catching the suspects, helping the victims. I could go on and on. Shot spotter can tell within 16 meters where the shot's coming from.
And that narrows it down a lot.
Yeah, 16 meters. So we're all in favor of that. So I was in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and you might catch some clips of that. I don't know that we're gonna cut and run those clips, but it's an interesting hearing. And thank you to the legislators, Bill Ingebrigtsen, you know, former sheriff, current senator, and we just thank him. Looks like we got a pretty good picture there, Pat.
Yeah, it looks really good today.
I don't actually know if I ever told Kyle Meestead shut the comments off on YouTube.
I can check real quick.
Further comment, the male half may try to fight one of these officers. Have it. 9174. In the area of that
They are off.
Thank you. Good job, Kyle.
The was open, the lights on. I don't know if anybody's inside. How do I do this?
I'm gonna leave this one on 3.
Okay.
You got one of your radios on. What do we got for radio? Well, not that one. That one's the kind of the all catch-all for State Patrol.
Okay.
You got 2 over there, right?
Here's
Yeah.
Put one of yours on 2, and then that one on Central.
114, we're just
That one was gonna be Central, right?
Okay, that's central.
Copy. Thank you.
Where's your other one?
This one, that's this one here.
We got so many radios. Leave that one on 2 for us.
Wait on that black Toyota.
Copy 114. Take it. Okay. 2236.
Copy. Do we know if the suspect's still with her?
The 4 radios on no scanner.
Negative. Looks like the caller disconnected.
This one I got programmed now. I think I told you. It's got State Patrol, LTAC.
76. Coming in the area. Do you have that 49 on camera by any chance? No.
Thankfully, State Patrol isn't so busy that it
The
dominates.
dangerous condition at Cleveland and Larpenteur. Ready to check for a vehicle driving erratically. Classic southbound on Cleveland within the last 3 minutes. Should be Minnesota license. Echo Lima X-ray 561. It's back to the ratio.
Echo Lima X-ray 561. Reckless driver, southbound on Cleveland. So if you're a new viewer, thanks for joining us. It's hard for us to tell. I hope our old backseaters let them know where we are. We're in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's 10:32. It's 21 degrees. We're on the busiest street in Ramsey County, Snelling Avenue, right by Hamlin University. And we're in the city of St. Paul. My name is Bob Fletcher. I have the pleasure of serving as the Ramsey County Sheriff. And with me is Deputy Patrick J. Scott.
Do we want this one on one? It's just with your.
I think we're just
Just leave them like this.
I think otherwise, you know what, we end up missing one.
Okay.
We'll just see how this goes. Who knows?
Okay.
120 GOA today.
I'm trying to help the dispatchers. Sometimes when we have radio scanning and we transmit, we get feedback on the radio. And some of the dispatchers don't like the feedback. It hurts their ears. I don't blame them. So we're trying to make sure we don't transmit while we have another radio on.
At the Holiday gas station covering register motion.
And when we scan sometimes, then we pick up a radio and another one's scanning. We get the instant feedback. We catch it pretty fast, but it's annoying to the poor men and women that have to dispatch our calls. So our apologies.
Definitely unintentional. Because we love our dispatchers.
Can't survive without them. And we were saying last week what a difficult job taking all these calls and then not knowing what the results are. Just taking the bad news. You know?
Yep. So right up here on the left, over the weekend, there was what, a 15-year-old kid shot at a under 18 party?
I think you are correct. Right in this little hall up above there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a makeshift hall, actually. Not really. I don't think it's a licensed hall, but the kids were gathering there to get on a party bus.
Mm.
But one of the problems is when the police came, there was a lot of arguing.
You know, our friend Lisa Clemens in Minneapolis posted a distressing Facebook post today. They were leaving the funeral for the young man shot and killed at the high school in Richfield last week.
Yeah.
And the 4th Precinct commander called her to let her know that there was a 15-year-old shot in North Minneapolis as they were leaving the funeral.
Right.
And a bus driver was shot on a school bus.
That was earlier in the day. A bus driver was shot right through the front window. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
I did not.
There's a bullet hole right square in front of his windshield. He's lucky to be alive.
Jesus.
Apparently it caught him in the cheek. One of the witnesses was describing it rather than in the brain. Well, right here on Sherburne and Snelling is where the large gathering and the fight was.
One of the Crime Watch pages also posted what is apparently a growing trend that is really disturbing. It was to check on the welfare of a person who was
664.
intentionally taking fentanyl and then immediately self-administering Narcan to come out of it.
That's just a disturbing trend.
664, I'm coming. I'm Broadway North home. We're going to be 33 traffic.
We got the State Patrol frequency on now, so if there is a chase on the State Patrol, we won't be 2 minutes behind.
Oh, Minneapolis is chasing that Ford Explorer from the Bloomington carjacking.
All right. Well, all right.
Let's see here. I think that I know where that is.
Well, can we get it on
Yep.
LTEC? Well, you're going to go on LTEC? Or? This is on
I think
LTEC.
it's on Minneapolis.
33 at 2237.
If you know how to find it.
Yep.
Is it like I-1?
Yes.
Might not be I-1 on your old radio, though. Good luck with that.
It is.
Okay.
I just got to find out which Minneapolis channel it's on.
27 Ramsey.
Call Alex Graham.
Calling Alex Graham. Work.
Trying to find it right now. I don't have it.
Yeah, you're
This car.
you're on live on patrol, but it's
All right.
all right. So
2238.
if you find us, we don't know which Minneapolis channel it's on.
Doing northbound 28th Ave from 38th.
Which one you on?
Channel 1.
MSP Minneapolis.
MPD 1.
Minneapolis 1, Alex. Okay.
Roger.
But
We lost sight of them somewhere right around here, 28th and 36th Street. We lost it in one of these alleys.
Oh, it is on LTEC.
I don't know if maybe 22.
So I'm gonna cut this off as soon as it's on LTEC.
He's somewhere in this 2 blocks here. I don't know if he darted into an alley or not, but for the squad's coming in, he's going to be around here.
so it's a carjacking car out of Bloomington. Minneapolis found it. And they're chasing it, looking for it.
Bystander said he went south on 29th Ave. .341, you say this guy had a red cap? Affirm. Could be a native guy. Brown jacket.
2364
Got our lights on too. Gonna head toward the border. Head toward the border of our county in case it pops
Hey,
over.
second precinct, start first stabbing, 954, 27th Northeast.
That's Minneapolis 2nd Precinct. We're on LTEC merged with their frequency, so we're going to hear a few of their calls.
206, copy the chat.
But carjackings are our top priority, obviously. So we want to be in the proximity
Clear.
Inside, the west door was open.
to help out. It's a ways over there. It's a ways over there right now, but
222, I'll start from the stand.
almost always when Minneapolis chases a stolen or a carjacked car,
341, tree check was on. Sorry again. Let's see where this car's
They-
at.
they head over here.
Oh, it's just a lot of people in the parking lot.
they head over here to get away from Minneapolis. So
119, the garage is clear. Go for.
Copy. Garage is clear. Go for it. 223.
4677. 2240.
we're not in a hurry to get to the border, but
3307.
we're also we don't want
Finish round 2.
to dawdle. So we're letting traffic flow a little bit, but then we're using our reds.
I'll be out with 311
Oh, we got stale reds.
mail at 28th Avenue and 37.
Do you know, is that north Minneapolis or south?
South.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for that.
664 Metro. 664.
So they could sneak up here.
Network 2241.
160.
Head south, maybe. Any trains coming there, Pat? We're good?
We're clear.
Yeah, head toward the Marshall Bridge. In
In
case they pop over on Marshall.
And I'm on scene. Can I get a call back?
Back into Neuer Park. We were there the other night.
Vehicle description.
Copy. That's right.
Out here in the warehouse district. These trucks and semis are what keep us moving as a country.
Got that right.
You see the caravan and blocking the bridge from Windsor, Canada to Detroit today?
I heard about it. I haven't seen it.
You can shut down quite a port with some big semis.
272, what kind of cars and steamrollers are coming in?
Be a silver Kia
I know they were on LTAC, but I could see somebody not realizing it and broadcasting over their main channel. I think I'm going to go back to that channel.
But I don't know if there's
160.
is Minneapolis Channel 1. Is that the south?
Channel 1 is what it was.
And I just don't know if that was
About 160.
our Minneapolis expert.
Well, 43.
Clear.
So a white Ford Explorer. And it's a California plate.
Yep.
Fuel 6 has the vehicle been located? And was that the individual we're looking for?
A little unusual.
341. I believe that is the correct individual. We're just trying to locate the car.
Bloomington's still working on that update for the vehicle location.
Little bumps out here at Town and Country Club. Well, we're just going to bounce across the border here just to get orientated so we know where the best place to sit is when we figure out. And Heather, if you monitored that, you can send us exactly where they last saw the car. That'd be helpful. Or Alex, either one of you. I know Alex is working on it.
I missed that. Did they say they have the individual?
Muted for a minute.
Checking squad status.
It is a California plate, though, right?
Yes.
Copy, code 42246.
So
I think we're fairly close to the area.
We're just across the border here on Lake Street. We're going to kind of hang right by the border in case the car makes an effort to cross the Lake Street Bridge, but it's just good to get proximity. So this is South 41st
Address
Avenue.
B76, checking your status.
South 41st.
Clear, thank you.
And that's South
1910, clear fires with K9 West.
So 39's here.
Copy 2246.
And Lake Street is roughly 30th Street.
Right. So I'll turn around here and.
Yeah, 33. You can get any information from the call office.
So you'll see we're just going south of Lake Street 1 block, and Pat, as Pat mentioned, Lake is 30th Street East.
The rental car company.
And so we are essentially at 40th Avenue South and 30th Street East in Minneapolis. And this is why St. Paul decided to name their streets strange names of other things. And Lake isn't actually named Lake because it actually runs into north end of Lake Calhoun, right?
174. Good.
And that's the all the Lake of the Isles, Calhoun, Harriet, Nokomis. South Minneapolis has a beautiful set of lakes over there, parks, etc. It's a high demand area.
Wilmington 4855 on Altar Block.
Here, we can turn this down just a little. Beat that for 1 second. So, Mississippi River here, crossing back to the Ramsey County side of the river. It's a nice day yesterday, huh? 42 degrees.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Looks to me like somebody was thinking of like us. Oh, there's Alex. Action Alex. Wait there for 1 second. Oh, that Action Alex is a funny guy. A funny guy. Sometimes he imitates the sheriff. In fact, he's not the only one. You know that, right? Your whole unit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They've got you down pretty well.
I think Jelly Joe's probably right now. He's on vacation for another day. They might be imitating me right now.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself having a Friday night off.
It's going to be the 10 highway to northbound 35, Arden Hills area.
Copy. Is there one westbound at 35 on 694 as well, or is that kind of one of the same two? There's locations mixed up.
I'm 99.9% sure that they're all the same event.
Copy. So westbound Conroe at 10 from North W.
2256.
Well, we are not hearing any updates on the chase in Minneapolis.
We know they lost them, so we're still anticipating they might pop up over here.
About 325.
We were worked last
341, we got
Wednesday,
no
didn't
comments from Bloomington. We'll go check it out.
1876 Magnolia, running an assist. To your caller in a blue Volkswagen Jetta. They tracked the stolen laptop to the address.
I copy your route 2375, 19 on disturbance. Caller scene at service district on the...
A lot of different things going on.
Now I'm thinking we need to get a Minneapolis CAD put in our car.
Yeah. Exactly.
6 radios, 2 CADs.
Well, 6 primary radios. Then we got several other channels.
You still want me to keep driving around looking for this kid?
4 phones, 4 flashlights.
Minneapolis stolen.
What's he
Want me to
saying?
keep driving around looking for this kid? That's 2254.
That must be the one in Magnolia.
Never that. So 321, copy that. That's Motto. Area check. Area 36 Lower Aston Road.
On the store,
Reserve.
his officer has the ability to show the vehicle off. That I am not sure of Bloomington. Check into that.
Well,
It's still out there somewhere.
yes, it is.
Gives us a good reason to stay down here in Highland Park a little bit because we're not here that often. I think they knew you.
Come to St. Paul, Ford Explorer. We'll say hi.
Hey,
We have a room reserved
Can
for
you
you.
just to bring us up to speed, Heather sent us that cops alert. Well, you read it already, but
Yeah.
can you just read it out loud to me?
Yep.
Or-
Okay, this carjacked Ford Explorer has California plates 8NSH874. It's a white 2020. Suspect held a gun to the victim and made him get out of the vehicle. The victim said the gun was a short barrel and could have been a paintball gun, but doesn't know for sure. Suspects
341.
were initially described as two white males.
We got that vehicle.
Yeah.
We'll be checking it now. It's in front of 3205 37th Street.
That's not too far, right?
No. We
Copies located the vehicle.
were really close.
Yeah, yeah. 3205 37th Street.
So 32nd Avenue and 37th Street.
Yeah. Let's see if it flies or moves.
341. We're still forward the vehicle.
Unoccupied.
2257.
So they got it. They got it. Not
Yep.
too far from where we were. We were at 40th and 40th, and they were at 32nd. About 8 blocks away over there. Too bad they didn't. I don't have a magnetless. So hopefully they got a suspect. I read in the paper that Starbucks was getting rid of its drive-through. Can that possibly be true?
I believe they have to, because
Traffic?
the city licensing required them to have off-duty police officers
Bravo 196.
there if they were going to have the drive-through, and this Starbucks has opted
So they're having a walk-up
Oh,
window.
to not. They've decided they don't want police officers here.
Are you sure? Are you sure that you have to have a police officer
Morning, man. I'll be
to run a drive-up?
For the traffic was so bad that it was a requirement.
Okay, yeah. So there you see the gate there. They're no longer having. There's a gate right there in front of the drive-through, and the signs are all white, right?
Yep.
And you don't think they wanted a police officer?
I know they didn't.
But it wasn't the money; it was the image.
The image, yes.
Okay. Well, that's disappointing. Is that I mean, I've heard that in the past, but I know my wife loves her coffee. Well. What a world, like the Wicked Witch said. What a world, what a world, what a world.
Fletcher 664, check your status. Fletcher 664, check your status. On 150,
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to St. Paul 3 on this one.
Okay. Well, I think, no, stay. We'll go on 2. Since this is, we're going to head to the east side. We'll just keep this, the mother radio on 3.
Okay, so you're on 1, I'll go to 2. Okay.
A couple times we've switched them back and forth. We've missed significant calls. For those of you that are new, we have 6 primary channels that are dispatched in Ramsey County. 3 in the city and 3 in the suburbs. Try to monitor all of those, but for sure the ones we're in and the abutting ones. And then we monitor the state patrol frequencies as well, which is what you're hearing in the background. And the merged law enforcement tactical channels, LTAC 1 and LTAC 2 are on that scanned radio as well, in case Woodbury or someone else brings a chase of a stolen car, a carjacked car into our county. A little quieter than average, huh, Pat?
Yes, it is. Wednesdays have been a very busy night the last several weeks.
This one mine? Small
Yes,
thing?
that's yours.
Thank you. was someone sent us a message about an officer getting shot in Indiana. Did you see that at all?
I did not.
Gary, Indiana. I don't know what his condition, but it sounded serious.
I'm going to find that out for sure.
Gary, Indiana. Might have been a day or two ago, but there's someone from Indiana that watches us.
272.
And while you're looking that up, my wife,
We don't have a way to secure this door, so if Jennifer wants to respond.
my son was playing hockey tonight against Orono, and I ran into an Orono parent, and my wife, she reads everything. She doesn't miss a thing. She said in the paper there was some home invasions or occupied home burglaries in Orono.
Oh, really?
A series of them, which I hadn't heard of, which of course is probably the same group that was doing them here a year ago.
Okay.
Probably just searched out these kids that usually go away for 6 to 9 months, and when they come back they find a fresh area to hit. That takes a while for them, the police, to figure out what's going on. So I don't know if anybody has been reading that, but apparently there's been some in the news about occupied home burglaries in Orono. A series of
Well, the Gary, Indiana, was a police sergeant, is in stable condition. He responded to a car accident, and 2 people involved in the car accident opened fire on him.
Unbelievable.
Yep. They took 1 into custody very quickly, and it appears they're looking for 1 or 2 more.
The people in the car accident opened fire on him. Jeez.
272.
272, copy, 15 minutes.
504.
So we're in the Midway District.
There's an audible alarm that covers the entry exit. Squad to assist.
Coming up Victoria Street there toward University Avenue.
The other side of University Avenue is the Frogtown neighborhood.
Copy 12304.
Our home away from home.
Yes, indeed.
Like, pick up some gift cards from the office. Rev Spence has been out distributing to the needy and the homeless, but we should always have a few with us to make sure we can help people out. But because Jim Moody, our assistant, kind of keeps them and then hands them to Rev Spence.
Okay.
And Andre Star Wars and a couple other community service officers. Well, of course, yesterday when it was 42, I drove by a couple ice rinks and I saw that there was water on them. Remember, I always told you that my birthday is traditionally the day that rinks can't hold ice. So it'll freeze up again, but then it'll warm up a little bit more. So, but the reason I'm telling you this is not to make you sad about the lost ice, but to tell you that spring is around the corner.
It is looming. The end is near.
I don't know if that's the phrase we want to hear, but yeah.
Okay, the end of winter is
Volcanus
near.
Rex has prevailed.
For those of you out of town, we do have a light rail here, and yes, that was a light rail train car that went by.
Yeah.
We were right before we crossed University.
Now you'll see the stop sign up here at Thomas and Grotto, and back when Pat and I were working the street here, there was a young boy that got killed crossing the street right here, and we never caught the driver. It was a hit and run, but that was one of the instances that inspired St. Paul to adopt what's called basket weaving stop signs. So you know when you weave a basket, it's over, under, over, under, over, under. So in St. Paul's Frogtown area, did you want to go?
No.
In St. Paul's Frogtown area, there's stop signs every other street in a basket weave. How's it going, guys? Well, it's good to see ya. You guys go ahead and go. You want us to go first? Whatever your pleasure is. All right. You guys don't say hi to Pat.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Pat, you arrested my dad a long time ago and I ain't seen him since then.
No.
I'm sorry, man.
See you later.
You too.
Thank you.
Good night.
Hey. How's it going? Pretty sure that's not your fault. It's a little unusual, huh?
Contour 283. Do they already have a tow coming, or do you want us to start one?
Anyhow, so you'll see we went one block, and then we'll go to the next block, and usually there's, every 2 blocks you're going to see a stop sign.
On the Grotto here is a more major
Right.
of the north-south streets,
Yeah.
but on the less heavily traveled ones, yeah, every other street will be a stop sign.
Yeah, and the neighbors kind of insisted on that because people were driving too fast on the side streets.
Cleveland on the APD, Silver.
So it's become relatively popular. Got the oil change today on the car, Pat. I told them check the brakes, and they said, "Yeah, your brakes are right there." But we
Got a little more life in them?
No, they said we don't have the parts. We got to order them. Yeah, they said they got a little life in them, but you can hear the caliper tinging now.
Is that an apartment building?
So that's a little history of how we got so many stop signs here. You see St. Albans has one here. I mean, and it's not a perfect system. It's not a perfect weaved basket. In this case, you'll see it's every block instead of every other block. But in the old days, there were no stop signs on these side streets. And the main street, even like Thomas, only had a stop sign at Victoria. So all of this in an effort to slow people down. Same thing with the stop signs on University Avenue. Someone was always trying to figure out how to make traffic better.
Yeah, when we came on, University had a stoplight at just about every intersection from Western to
I
Snelling.
think it was every 2.
Every 2?
And then they took them down. I don't know, they got some back up.
Now
right?
they got a lot of them back up.
They took them. Yeah, University's been an interesting development because there's always been this tension between transportation, i.e. light rail, and available parking. And so anytime you put light rail in, you remove some available parking for the businesses.
It put some out of business. Some of the places out of business. They were constructing it.
Yeah. On the other hand, there is a belief and a philosophy that long term, if the economy needs to grow, people need mobility so they can get to work and get to places. But I'm not sure if Minnesotans are willing to give up their cars yet.
Copy 117, you can stay clear.
I'm not sure our climate and sprawl can sustain that.
Copy 2311.
Well, the other thing is, if you want people to give up their cars, the light rail and buses need to actually be able to get them where they need to go.
and safely.
Well, that's another point. Without walking for a half a mile in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So.
8197 Tango.
But we're not experts in that field, and we don't even pretend to be.
Go for both squads.
Absolutely not.
2100 Silver Lake Road at Meadowwood Shores, number 235, to assist medics from the 92-year-old female conscious breathing with weakness and dehydration.
2500 Metro. 8197 Tango copies for both.
2312.
2312.
So what else is going on in the big city here, Patrick? Oh, I know. I was down at the Capitol. I mentioned the Capitol. I testified.
Yep.
I stopped up to the tourism people.
Okay.
Not tourism, but the people that give the tours. Because I've been in the Capitol many times. I've had all my kids there at some point. But I've never had, well, since we were little, real little, I haven't had a tour. And so I asked, are you doing tours? And yes, they are doing tours again now.
Oh, nice.
On the hour, it's a 45-minute tour, which isn't too bad. You know? Like a 2 to 3 hour one might drag you down a little bit. But a 45-minute tour, that's even better than the Gilligan ship was. That was a 3 hour. That was a 3 hour tour. So 45 minutes, and met a couple of really wonderful people up there in the office. When you go in the front door of the Capitol, go to the right, and that's where you can go on a tour. But I had this idea, Pat. We talked about the Capitol all the time. We show it off. Let's do a live tour of the Capitol.
Interesting.
Walk through it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that'd be fascinating.
And let the tour person talk about it.
Yeah.
And you know, I heard Kyle Meestead, our director, has written a paper on the Capitol. We'll bring him with, so he can narrate a little bit.
He's very knowledgeable about the Capitol.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous building, and there's hardly anybody there because of COVID right
Just
now.
advising, we received a 911 open line from the area.
I just don't think you'll ever get an opportunity to see the inside of that beautiful building.
Brian, where are you?
I did confirm it's the second largest marble dome outside of St. Peter.
Okay.
And that's a pretty amazing thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
That one park.
It is a beautiful, we do have a beautiful Capitol. No doubt about it.
So, and maybe we invite the backseaters to come with on the tour. That would be an idea. They said if we wait till spring, we can go out on the outdoor veranda part. But I don't know if I want to wait that long, because there's no crowds up there right now. We're on Rice Street in St. Paul, northbound on Rice Street from University Avenue. As you can tell, all the radios are relatively quiet. So
we have Club Holiday coming up on the left there in another block.
Fortunately, you have to listen to Pat and I instead of police calls. But nothing happens till midnight anyhow.
That's right.
12:15. Hey, if you haven't shared this with your friends, please do that now if you wouldn't mind, because a lot of people didn't know we were coming on Wednesday night. And don't forget to go to the GoFundMe page for Leela Wright and help her family through this tragic and horrendous time.
County 2756 traffic.
2756.
Maryland and Jackson with a black Dodge Charger, no plates.
Maryland and Jackson, Black Dodge, no place, 2316.
Looks semi-quiet here at Club Holiday.
531 is clear.
Yes, it is.
531, copy, 2316.
Squads are clear of the address, but leave us on it.
Copy at 2360.
Link, shall we found him?
No, he's on function. He can take care of himself. We're hoping he goes back. We do a good misdemeanor. But
Yesterday, I picked up on the radio at 6th and Hancock. St. Paul officers spotted a wanted murder suspect. Had a foot chase with him. Ended up catching up to him, and he didn't want to comply, but eventually did. And I believe they recovered a gun.
You think that's the same one we were working with at the marshal's office over there? Remember, that's the same location.
Yeah, I'm
This guy
not
wants to
I'm
say
not
hi.
sure.
Hey,
Hey! Oh, okay.
we'll pull up to front. We'll go to Front Street up here. When you were little, did your mom ever tell you, don't meet a guy in a dark alley?
Well, hopefully he doesn't have candy, because she also told me don't take candy
Don't
from
take
strangers.
candy. Whatever people want us to,
4 p.m. Minnesota plate 01019.
we're happy to give out. In fact, we're headed up to the.
Copy, go for 2318.
We're headed up to Jackson and Maryland there, where Alex is at the Foundry Bar. So maybe there'll be some Twinkies to give away to the Foundry Bar.
There you go.
It's nice that people care enough to come out and find us. Those that we know by first sight, we
Copy at 2318.
What are you guys up to? Huh? Mute it? You want to mute it? Okay. All right, we're muting it. Guys, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that was very nice. And one of the backseaters
2164.
helping out with a window tool, so we don't get stuck using the pipe again. Are you on 2 over there?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Sure, it looks like they just updated to say that the son is returning currently in his bedroom.
Hopefully that'll never happen again.
2320.
I guess a lot of people in Florida carry these window breakers with them
For when they drive into a swamp.
in a canal. There's so
Yeah,
many
the
canals
canal.
down there
Yeah.
that if they go into a canal, there's a Challenger that Alex just stopped
Copy 2321.
without a plate on it. Just going west on Front Street now, Alex. All right. So I am gonna, in a minute here, I'm gonna have to mute for just 1 minute. Make an important phone call. Won't be long. You're not gonna, if something happens, trust me, we'll unmute. If you don't mind.
Be right with you. Boy, not many folks here tonight.
Well, even though it's hump day, not too many people out. Not too many at all.
Copy, 305 St. Peter's and 22.
Okay, 164, we're making contact.
Copy, 2224.
Well, it's comforting to know that things are quiet.
Yeah.
We have had a number of homicides this year, but they've been primarily domestic related, which I'm not diminishing the importance of that. We got to get better at domestic violence, but it hasn't been gang related shootings for the most part.
Right.
And that's good news that it hasn't been gang related, because gang relation, there was one on the west side that probably is some form of gang, but the retaliation that comes out of those cycles, you never recover from.
No.
So
We've gotta find a way to get better resources for people trapped in abusive relationships.
Well, and obviously the pandemic has made it even harder. People can't get out. Kevin, for the last 2 years, haven't been out.
Negative, you're coming in and I can't understand what you're saying.
283 Metro. 283. I'm sure it's too late now.
Minneapolis, though, does have a worse trend than us. I'll say that.
Copy, code 4 when it comes to
In terms of their shootings, randomness. I mean, obviously the Ridgefield incident is tragic.
Just hit the brakes, please. Thank you.
That was kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
2499
Do you want to try to grab that plate?
Yeah, I do.
2499, go
It's
ahead.
got one of those dark covers over
I
it.
feel like we've seen that car before.
160. Sorry, I'm inside the school here. Can I get the case number over there, please?
Like a little extra light on that car.
Okay.
Copy, it is 022421, 022421.
LOA
160, copy. Thank
5
you.
CBA. LOA 5 CBA.
Oh, was that Pennsylvania?
I thought it was Minnesota.
No, it wasn't Minnesota, but you can try it. LOA 5 CBA. Do we have plates like that? Personalized, right? Right?
Yeah. I'll try yours. 5 LOA 5 CBA.
Hey, it's one of the things. You're going to hear a lot of debate. This murder that this
261.
Mackay
261.
Speed, the 17-year-old that was arrested in Winona for the murder of Otis Elder at the 500 block of Pryor. You're going to hear a lot of discussion about his past history, which of course he shot someone else, and whether or not he should have been incarcerated longer, whether he should have been on home monitoring longer. I have to tell you, this is a classic case. Everybody should dig into this child's history, because we as a society should have been able to ensure that he wasn't able to victimize someone else. And he spent several months up at the Moorhead Correctional Facility, which ironically a lot of our carjackers have. You know, we're familiar with some other ones. The problem with having a facility that far away, some of the support services of family and county support services aren't really available, and there's a terrible handoff to come back to the cities when you get out of there. This transition and aftercare issue is very problematic. You really need a facility here, a halfway house, a link or something that people can transition back to a successful life out of those outstate, whether it's Red Wing or Moorhead. They do a great job, but it's the transition piece that becomes more difficult. So, but it didn't say why the judge did what she did. The judge he violated his probation. You'll read this in the paper if you dig into this. He violated the probation. But the judge, instead of incarcerating the person, sent him on electric home monitoring for 1 month.
1 month.
1 month. And of course, shortly after that, he was believed to be involved in numerous crimes. You know, that the car was used in numerous crimes, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, the Star Tribune article on this mentioned the fact that there are going to be people that say this. This is the sad part. Well, this is why incarcerating kids doesn't do any good. Well, it doesn't do any good if you let them out before they've learned not to shoot another person.
Yeah,
right?
really.
It doesn't do any good if you don't transition them back to some form of successful life. It doesn't do any good if you just say, if they violate probation, no big deal. There have to be consequences to probation. And that is one of our biggest issues, whether or not there are consequences to probation violations, because judges have limited options. So watch this case as it works its way through. They're going to try to certify Mackay Speed, and I guess they will be successful. But the question is, how was he able to run the streets, commit crime, and actually kill someone after he was on probation?
And violated it. There's some fixing that needs to be done.
Classic case. But you can look it up online. Look up, I think, Care 11, Star Tribune. They all have pretty good stories on the whole sequence of activities.
We actually, during our live on patrols, ran into Otis a couple times and spoke to Otis.
That's correct. Yep. We had last year we had one of our friends that we ran into Club Holiday that ended up dead the next day. Remember in the yellow pants?
Oh, yeah.
Got shot at the foundry. Yeah.
190, code 4.
Code 4, 2332.
Well, there's not a lot of traffic to avoid.
You got that right.
I mean, for those of you that don't get out a lot, and I know there are some of you, I mean, this is an opportunity to kind of see what's happening in the city. And, I do think it's a comforting feeling, though, when there's not a lot of crime going on.
Yes, indeed.
We should get our bowling balls out.
We wouldn't hit a thing.
No? I think we should get one of those purple lights.
Make them think we're Uber.
Just drive around. Just so people come up and talk to us.
Yeah, that would draw folks in.
Just tell them it's a Prince thing. Purple rain, purple rain.
Yeah, we go for it.
So, as we stated earlier, we are not going to be live Friday night. However, we will be back after the Super Bowl on Sunday.
There's a lot of people that don't like when I say this, but I'm not gonna. I'm loyal to a fault in life. Everybody knows that about me. And of course, I was disappointed Tom Brady wasn't in the Super Bowl again. It's not like he hasn't been in it plenty of times, right?
Right.
But my wife, of course, she's a big Joe Burrow fan. So,
and I'm a Pat Mahomes fan.
Well, she used to be a Mahomes. I tell her she was a big Brady fan, then she was Mahomes fan, and then the last 2 years she's been a Joe Burrow fan. You got to be more loyal, don't you? But no, that'll be exciting for Joe. Who would have thought it, And I don't know if you know the story of Joe Burrow, but the college he was at, the university he was at, which shall remain nameless, didn't play him much,
okay,
if at all, until he transferred to LSU. Coach O took him there, turned him into a starting quarterback, and he went on to be the best quarterback in college football. So, pretty amazing story, and now he's in the Super Bowl 2 years later. But for all of you players out there that are riding the bench, you're looking at a Super Bowl quarterback that was riding the bench for most of his college career, till Coach O from LSU said, "This kid's got something. I'm gonna try him."
That is a cool story.
That really
I did
is.
not know that story.
Yeah. So that's what's so cool about him. That perseverance it takes to just, to not get a lot of playing time or any playing time for so long. But Brady's another story like that. Brady was a backup on his college team too. Till he got his chance. And same way in the pros. So all of a sudden they put Brady in and he won a Super Bowl for him. You just never know.
Don't give up.
Nope. Well, things are going to blossom.
Perseverance can pay off.
Trade 2. Split 3 and 2.
But you got to say the Stafford story is a fascinating story too, because he had such a rough go. Everybody had really given up on him, the other quarterback, and somehow he redefined himself. Pretty amazing. At one point, he was one of the highest paid quarterbacks and with the lowest win ratio, but back at the top of his game. So I don't know how that one's going to work out. I really can't predict. You got to figure LA has a big advantage, home turf. You think we hypnotized all the criminals?
I think that's it.
Do you think they're gonna find out about our secret hypnosis on Live on Patrol? Whoa.
Whoa.
NDP 579.
NDP 579.
Normally I wouldn't go back, but it looked like he was actually coming across the center line for a minute, didn't it?
Sure did.
So I think that's the corner there.
You took the corner?
No, I think he's there. I think he's turned his lights on. I'm not positive. I did not see.
That looks like that could be the car.
He's got his lights on, we won't worry, but did I get the right plate or not?
Let you know in a minute.
That one was pretty tough without any lights on. Yep.
Honda Accord. Yep.
Anyhow, so that class you went on hypnotism, just talking to people with a calm voice, you can, talk them into not committing crime. These aren't the droids we're looking for. Remember that?
5181, 5185.
Star Wars. These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Marked as a DOC at 2820 Cleveland.
Well, there's one way to get a parking spot, huh?
Who came into the business off the street looking for a shelter after being in a domestic earlier, said she is having pain from that, but declined medics. They are trying to close the business for the day. It's a 35-year-old white female, 5 feet, medium build, wearing a long black coat with 2 bags.
Isaac.
I got this problem here.
Hey, one switch, got it.
Let's see what happens here if it comes back on.
2341.
I got a lighting problem here, don't I? I think if I shut it off and turn it back on, it might work.
Go ahead, 3-2 back up the 911 hangout area 950 Bradley.
Hi guys! Just want to let you know your lights are off for a while, and we're the police. We just
Yeah, somebody hit me with the flares.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
flipped the automatics. I don't have automatics anymore. I flipped them off, but yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
Appreciate you, man. You too.
But it's electrical. I had this happen yesterday.
This feels.
Yeah.
It wasn't that loose before, was it?
No, but it's
5183.
it comes back on. I just gotta play with it. But we're having a little red light problem here.
2835 Pascal Unit 1G Golf at Centennial
Which could
Commons. on a
seriously
63
damage our night, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes it resets when I turn the car off. I don't know if it's so good. Who knows? You think you can figure that out, Pat?
Not sure.
8196, 8197 takeoff.
Well, that's that thing. So I don't think that's how it's wired. It's straight down there.
804 6th Street Northwest, number 10 on the suspicious
What
setting
is
right. The
this?
permits for a possible unknown subject.
Well, it was working earlier, remember?
Yeah.
You can call me we're afraid you have
I don't think it's a fuse. I think it's something to do with that, but I'm going to take a look.
I don't know today. I'll be starting at 39.
I know where there's an external fuse here.
Copy at 2343. I copy you on to 1644 LaFon. I'm suspicious for an SUV that's been across the street facing the wrong way at the corner of Fry and LaFon.
2640 Black Mercedes headed down to 927 President.
How's it going?
Good. You guys need some help?
We're out of business for the night.
You don't have to email.
We're going to work on it.
2640
We'll work on it.
Silver Buick
I think
1240
we're done for the
Bryant.
night. You
President.
guys go patrol and find something for us.
Can you ask us an email?
You got one from Alex, right?
Oh, he's your deputy, right?
Well, you gave us a lot of lists. We're working on all that stuff. You gave us a long list. A lot of emails we got to go through.
189.
Well,
Well, see, it's weird that there's a little bit of light still on there.
Adam, Hotel Adam Yankee.
Response. Have a good night at 2344.
Well, folks, if we can't get this fixed, we're going to have to call it a night, I'm afraid. Which isn't a bad night to call it a night because there's nothing going on.
what is this?
That's a PA system.
Oh,
But
well, shoot. mute that. Well,
All right, folks. Very sorry about this, but we have some
Hold on.
mechanical problems. Our lights were working perfectly a minute ago, and they are not working now. And we're going to go to the shop and see if we can get them working. Very strange. It might be, obviously there's just a short. And our apologies. What time is it?
21:29, we're northbound, costume drive. Behind 209 Concord.
Sometimes they reset. But it looks deader than a doornail right now.
yeah,
huh?
it sure does.
Can't really be out here trying to do police work without any red lights. And the siren's on the same box. Red lights and siren.
15th to Thompson, and then any other cars in between. So once you head north, put a concrete in.
But the people at the shop might be able to get us back up and running. All right. There we go.
Hopefully so.
All right, so we're going to let you go and head to the shop. Sorry about the short abbreviated thing. Our deepest apologies.
If we get it going, we may be back.
Yeah, if we get her going, we might be back.
So,
See how that goes. Sorry about that, folks, but we will for sure see you Sunday right after the Super Bowl. We'll have to get this stuff repaired tomorrow or Friday.
all right, folks. Thanks for being with us. Once again, apologies.